All right, we're moving on. So, finishing up two-step inequalities today. Let's go ahead and flip to page 11 in your booklet, and we'll get started. So, solving two-step inequalities. So, pretty similar to two-step equations, but the inequality might change if there's a negative involved. So, that's pretty much what we're going to be talking about today. So, when you multiply or divide by a negative, you must flip the inequality. So that means if it's less than, you need to change it to greater than. So let's go ahead and tackle the first problem. It has your steps listed over here if you need to look at those, but it's kind of the same stuff when we're doing inverse operations. So we have to move over that 3. So subtract 3 on both sides. These two cancel out. You have negative 5x is less than or equal to 40. Divide both sides by negative 5 to isolate the variable. So you've got x, and then you must flip the inequality. So it's going to be x is greater than or equal to negative 8. And that's what you'd graph on your number line. So you have to make sure you flip the inequality. So for our first example where we have to graph the inequality, let's go ahead and move over our 1 because we need to isolate that variable. So add 1 to both sides. Get these cancel out, and you have negative x is greater than or equal to 3. So because you have a negative x, it's like saying you have a negative 1x. Like you have a negative 1 in front of that. So you need to divide both sides by negative 1. So we'll have x, then you must flip the inequality, is less than or equal to negative 3. So let's go ahead and graph that on our number lines. We've got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, our positive numbers. Then our negative, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, and negative 5. All right, so we're going to have our closed circle. Our closed, we got colored in. Closed circle at negative 3. So now we need to figure out which direction it goes. So you plug in your 0. So 0 is less than or equal to negative 3. So because that is false, you need to draw your line away from 0. So as the time goes on, I'm going to kind of shorten the explanation on graphing them on a number line because hopefully you guys have the hang of it. If you do not, please let one of us know and we can definitely help you out. So let's go on to our next examples. Alright, so number 2. We need to move over that 5. So add 5 on both sides. Get these to cancel out. So we've got negative 2x is greater than 18. So now we need to divide both sides by negative 2. And because we did that, we must flip the inequality. And 18 divided by negative 2 gets you negative 9. So let's go ahead and graph that number line. So we've got negative 9, negative 7, negative 5. On the other side, negative 11, negative 13. Okay, so we're going to draw our open circle at negative 9. And then you've got 0 is less than negative 9. That is false, so you want to draw away. So there's our answer here. So for number 3, we're going to add 7. Or since it's adding 7, we need to do the opposite. So inverse operation tells us we need to subtract. So we'll have negative 2x is less than or equal to 5 minus 7 gets you negative 2. So now on both sides, divide by negative 2. These cancel out. So you'll have x, then you must flip your inequality, and then 1. Because negative 2 divided by negative 2 is 1. So we graph it. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. So we put our closed circle at 1, and then 0 is not greater than 1, so we're going to point our arrow away. All right, next problem. number 4. So these are kind of similar to our multi-step equations. So your first step, you want to distribute that -3 through your parentheses. So you'll have -3x minus 36 is greater than 15. So you have to move over that 36. You do that by adding 36 on both sides to get these to cancel out. So you'll have -3x is greater than 51. So to isolate the variable, we need to divide both sides by -3 to get these to cancel out. See ya. So we have x, and then we gotta flip that sign. So flip it. And then 51 divided by -3 gets you -17. So let's go ahead and graph it on the number line. We've got -17, -15, -13. And on the other side, we've got -19, and then -21. So I just skipped spots in between. You put your open circle at 17, and then 0 is less than -17. That's false. So you're going to go away from 0. So our arrow will go in that direction. All right, number 5. So first thing, since we don't have to distribute, we need to combine like terms. So we've got our -7a and our -2a. So let's add those together. So -7 plus -2 gets you -9a. And then plus 10 is less than 91. So first step is to move over that 10. So -10 minus 10. -9a is less than 81. So now we need to divide by that -9 to isolate the variable. And because we divided by that negative, we need to flip that sign. And 81 divided by -9 gets you -9. How convenient. All right, so let's start with 0 on this end. Let's switch it up. So -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8, -9, -10. Oh, it's beautiful. All right, so we're doing our open circle at -9. Then we say 0 is greater than -9. Well, that's true. So you want to go towards 0, and those are the numbers that are greater than -9. All right, number 6 is our last one. So this one you have to combine like terms and distribute. But first thing, we need to distribute. And then our second step is to combine like terms. Combine. Cool. So let's distribute through to that -2. So we have -2x plus 12, because a negative times a negative gets you a positive. And then plus 4x is greater than or equal to 42. So next step is to combine like terms. So we've got our -2x and our positive 4x. So -2 plus 4 gets you 2x plus 12 is greater than or equal to 42. There we go. So now we have to move over the 12. Since it's adding, you have to do the opposite. So you subtract 12 from each side. So you have 2x is greater than or equal to 30. Last step, you need to divide both sides by 2, but because it's not a negative, you do not need to flip the sign. So don't flip the sign. And 30 divided by 2 gets you 15. Perfect. So let's go ahead and graph that on our number line. So let's go 13, 15, 17, 19, 21, and then 23. So I skipped one. I'll just say 23. There we go. So we put our closed circle at 15. And now we got to draw our line. So is 0 greater than 15? That is not true. So we draw a line that way. All right. So that's all the examples I have here. But remember, if you divide or multiply by a negative, you must flip the inequality. Don't forget Get it tattooed on your arm or something. Who knows? We'll see you later. Goodbye.